Hello, everyone, and there is a new chain in town that could be the next gem project. However, this threatens another project. It threatens Tron because it has to do with Tether. It's called Plasma. It's a layer 1 blockchain specifically designed to give zero fee transactions to Tether. Now, why does that threaten Tron? It's because Tron, a lot of Tron's volume and a lot of the valuable volume is actually transferring USDT via Tron. More than half of Tron's transactions go via USDT. This project just had its initial public offering, I believe, within the last 24 hours, so you can go grab some up if you believe in this project. But I would be a little bit weary about Tron now because its main purpose as a USDT transfer might be obsolete soon. The thing is, Tron does have its gambling apps, but I do think that at this point, the conduit for Tether is Tron's main business. So let's actually look at this new Plasma blockchain. Plasma is a layer 1 blockchain specifically designed for stablecoin transfers and settlements, and Tether's CEO has an investment in this. So it's very, very connected to Tether, while Tether is a stablecoin that operates on multiple blockchains. Now, Plasma doesn't want to be tied to just USDT, but USDT is gonna be its first class citizen. It's not an official Tether chain, but has strong ties to Tether and its parent company Bitfinex. Plasma aims to provide faster, cheaper, and more secure way to move stablecoins, particularly Tether. So they are focused on Tether, and Tether controls like 60-70% of the market, so it's pretty good to focus on Tether. Tether and USDC are the only ones that matter, and we all know that USDC's parent company, Circle, just had an IPO last week. And the purpose is to provide a dedicated high throughput blockchain for stablecoins, specifically focusing on stablecoin transfers and settlements. That's all stablecoins, not just Tether. It operates as a layer 1 blockchain, meaning it's a standalone chain, not a layer 2 solution built on top of another. And that means it might be threatening to Ethereum too, because outside of Tron, a lot of the USDT does flow through Ethereum, so it might cut down on Ethereum business as well. Key features: zero fee transactions for stablecoins, high transaction throughput designed to handle a large volume of stablecoin transfers, Bitcoin security. Plasma's transactions are settled on Bitcoin, providing a robust and secure foundation. So perhaps more use case for Bitcoin. And of course, it has EVM compatibility, which makes it, I think, a little bit better for Ethereum. It's compatible with Ethereum Virtual Machine, allowing for integration with existing DeFi protocols. So it might not suck away the liquidity, but definitely better for Tron. Bad for Tron. So relationship to Tether. While not officially a Tether chain, Plasma has received funding and support from Tether's parent company Bitfinex and its CEO Paolo Ardiano. Plasma aims to become the primary blockchain for stablecoin transactions and settlements, offering a more efficient, secure alternative to existing stablecoin platforms. As a stablecoin, meaning its value is pegged to a stable asset, typically the US dollar, and this is like basically Tether's information. In summary, Plasma is a blockchain designed to improve stablecoin transactions with strong ties to Tether and being essentially bankrolled by Tether. So yeah, pretty strong Tether-based project. So this will definitely threaten Tron. I don't think Justin Sun is too happy, but that doesn't really matter because he's a billionaire anyways right now, and he probably doesn't really care too much. So they did actually have its IPO, I think today. And I think they were going for 500 million, which is not a lot. This was written 23 hours ago at the time of the recording this video, so it'll probably be like 30 something hours by the time you actually see it. The much talked about stablecoin public chain Plasma will officially open public deposits at 2100 Beijing time. I think that's earlier tonight, because this was written a day ago. After the end of the deposit phase of several weeks, the exact duration is yet to be determined. Participating users will receive a corresponding public offering share based on the time-weighted percentage of deposits and then participate in the public sale of the project with a full float valuation FDV of 500 million. Plasma stablecoin, public chain endorsed by Bitfinex, Tether, Peter Thiel, etc., is positioned as a high-performance blockchain built on stablecoins. I wonder if this chain is going to have its own coin, because right now it's just talking about the IPO, which is different from an ICO. It can support thousands of transactions per second, support zero-fee USDT transfer, rely on Bitcoin network for settlement, which can be understood as a Bitcoin sidechain, 100% EVM compatible, customized gas tokens. From a market perspective, the key reason why Plasma has gained such popularity is extremely fast financing progress and luxurious investor endorsement. In October 2024, Plasma announced the closing of a $3.5 million funding round when it debuted, led by Bitfinex, with participation from Christian Agamere and venture capital firms Split Capital, Anthos Capital, Caratage, and Manifold Trading, and backing the project by Bitfinex CTO and Tether CEO Paolo Ardiano. In February 2025, Plasma again announced the closing of $24 million funding, Series A, led by Frank Ventures, with further participation by Bitfinex and Paolo Ardiano and Peter Thiel. And of course, Thiel invested more of it. But right now, I think it's kind of like its coming out party is essentially today or was yesterday. So keep an eye peeled out for this. And they might actually be worth an investment. I think 500 million isn't that high of a valuation. Realistically, if it succeeds, it can be way, way more than that. We know Tether has like a supply of over $100 billion. And we know that Circle, the issuer of USDC, just essentially debuted, and their IPO went skyrocketing. And I think they're worth something like $20 billion now. So 500 million is not a lot. And a lot of Tether, I think, is going to go through this chain. Tether's CEO is basically invested in this. So he's going to be interested in porting a lot of Tether through this chain as well, because that would help his investment. A lot of parties are actually involved. I don't think they're really going to let this chain fall. This chain basically wants to own stablecoin fever. And of course, the thing about this is like stablecoins, I've said, I think like in terms of industrial utility, like industry adoption, I think they're going to be the only useful coins, because people are going to trade in stablecoins more than they are going to trade in any crypto. So basically the deposit is live, $500 million market cap, 1,110 depositors, top 10 depositor 40%, top 25 depositor 59%, and top 100 depositor 83%. So this is all like whale money, but you can kind of get in on it too. Yes, it's going to be centralized. It's not really going to be that decentralized, but it's got a lot of features. Obviously, critically, Tether will not be the only stablecoin available on Plasma, with the chain planning to launch with integrations from major names, including AVE, Maker, Curve, and Athena. This is obviously going to compete like with USDC, because notably, Circle and USDC are missing from that list, and they are the number 2 stablecoin. So this is basically a Tether project, because, you know, like Maker has some size, but the others are essentially fairly small on stablecoins. And since they're not including USDC, you know, like I think it's not going to be like so harmonious, because they're obviously like on one side of the competition. So under the hood, Plasma runs Plasma BFT, a modified, fast, hot stuff design tailored for high throughput, low latency stablecoin transfers. These are not going to be complex transactions. These are going to be fairly simple transactions. So the through output is going to be huge. And it does need to be huge because Tether, stablecoin settlement has surpassed both Visa and MasterCard settlement, and actually has surpassed the value of both of them combined. So you can tell it's going to have thousands of TPS. And yes, Tether is the majority of those transactions, being the biggest stablecoin by far in the world right now. Plasma uses a dual validator architecture where one validator set secures consensus, while a second processes gasless USDT transfers in a high-speed, low-cost lane. Now, I hope the exchanges will actually adopt this very soon, because I don't like losing like $1 or $2 every time I transfer Tether from BitUnix to Kraken to actually cash out. So obviously, zero fee USDT transfers received for basic USDT payments. These free transactions run on a parallel block layer to avoid general network congestion. Users can choose to wait a bit longer for their transfer in exchange for paying no fees. So if you want no fees, you might have to wait a few minutes. I think people are going to be perfectly fine with that. To prevent spam, the system sets rules like requiring a minimum balance and limiting how often someone can send transactions. So like, you know, right now when you choose Tether, you have like Tron, Solana, etc. to send. I think eventually in the future, very soon, it's going to have Plasma, and I think a lot of people are going to choose the Plasma option. Users can pay fees using approved tokens like USDC, USDT, or BTC. Note, no USDC. Indeed, instead of needing a special gas token, this makes it easier for apps built on Plasma to let people use their own token or fee. So if they're going to do swaps on this, yes, there's still going to be fees, but that's not like a USDT network fee or anything. That's basically the swap fee. There's going to be confidential transactions. The team plans to implement shielded transfers that conceal transaction details, allowing users to maintain private financial privacy without breaching compliance. Now, I think that's going to be a hard sell it's just going to be a hard sell to countries and regulators, and Bitcoin anchored security. So yeah, this is pretty exciting. I would be a little bit worried about Tron. I don't really care about Tron, so I don't really care. But I would be a little bit worried about Tron if I have Tron and is a major holding, because the USDT use case for Tron might be just waving bye soon. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.